This is Moonveil, an OG beloved katana from Elden Ring. It's been nerfed, patched, and pushed aside, but the DLC changed a lot of things, and Moonveil is definitely one of them, because with the right setup, Moonveil becomes a boss melting machine. We are talking 384% damage increase and a stylish playstyle. And the best part, it is safe, easy to use, and absolutely cheeses the DLC. Let's dive in. So what makes the Moonveil katana so special? For starters, you can grab it early by beating the magma worm in Kaelin, making it perfect for any playthrough. Moonveil is a unique weapon, which means it upgrades with somber smithing stones, which are easy to find too. Also, since it's a katana, you get innate bleed buildup. It's not super high, but it is enough to trigger the occasional bleed and add extra pressure. But let's be honest, what really makes this weapon famous is its skill, Transient Moonlight. Transient Moonlight is really what makes Moonveil legendary. It is a versatile skill with two deadly styles, light and heavy. Heavy deals more damage, hitting for 12% more than the light version, but light is significantly faster. And here's where it gets fun. You can also use both skills up close or from a distance. In your enemy's face, the skill hits 25% harder. From afar, the skill becomes safer to execute, but less powerful. The strategy is simple. When you are in close, spam light to keep the pressure on enemies. If you need space, switch to heavy and land big, risk-free strikes from range. Now that we understand how the weapon and its skill work, it is time to figure out the ideal offhand. Starting with the staff. The Glint Blade staff is the best option. This is further confirmed by a quick damage test, outperforming both the Regal Scepter and the Glintstone staff. As for a katana, the key decision is whether to go with a magic or cold affinity. Our time to kill test showed that the cold infusion came out on top. Then comes the choice between the Ochi katana and the Nagakiba. For the perfect offhand, we are going with the cold Nagakiba. That extra bit of range it provides is far more valuable than a couple of damage points. With everything we know so far, one big question remains. What is the most effective way to use Moonveil? Heavy attacks, dual wielding, or the skill? To find out, we tested the damage and TTK of each one of them. We used each style with their unique buffs to keep things fair. In terms of pure single hit burst damage, this skill is the undisputed champion, hitting for a massive 4,530 in our setup. When it comes to sustained damage, this skill's time to kill was extremely fast, but dual wielding attacks were just a hair faster. We are talking a fraction of a second. In practice, they are nearly identical. That is why I turned to you for the final verdict. With over 12k votes, 67% of you agree. The skill is the most effective and satisfying way to use Moonveil. Its blend of range, safety, and burst damage makes it the clear centerpiece of this build. Now into our next major decision, the sorceries. Since we are investing heavily in intelligence, it only makes sense to pair Moonveil with the right sorceries. The light version of this skill already gives us a great AoE for clearing weaker enemies. So what we really need are spells that boost long range pressure and overall DPS. But which sorceries give you the best value? We analyzed the damage to FP efficiency of every Glint Blade spell, and the clear standouts are Magic Glint Blade and Glint Blade Trio. Both offer over 60 damage per FP, making them insanely efficient. For the utility spell, we have a choice between Rolana's and Ronnie's moves. Ronnie's Dark Moon does less damage and costs more FP, but it causes frostbite buildup alongside a 10% debuff for 60 seconds. It is the clear winner and makes your Moonveil skill hits harder. Now, let's cover what is not worth using. Skip Golden Vow and Flame Grant Me Strength. Too much faith for too little gain of 15% and 2% respectively. The Spellblade armor set gives an 8% boost, but can be easily outclassed by Rakshasa's 8% plus better defense and poise. Multi-hit buffs don't synergize well either due to the skill's slow casting speed. We've broken down the stats, analyzed the skills, and crunched the numbers. Now let's put it all together. First up, the weapons. In your right hand, of course, is the star of the show, Moonveil plus 10. For your left hand, you will want the Carrion Glint Blade Staff to cast our spells. And while it is optional, I highly recommend keeping a Cold Nagakiba plus 25 as well. It is incredible for rapidly applying Frostbite. For our armor of choice, we are using the Rakshasa set. This is a crucial choice. Not only does it provide over 51 poise, but also boosts our damage by 8%. It is the perfect blend of aggression and protection. Now for the talismans, where the damage really starts to multiply. First, the Shard of Alexander for an easy 15% boost to Transient Moonlight. Next, the powerhouse, Rellana's Cameo. This talisman gives a massive 45% boost just by holding the stance for a brief moment. Then we add the Magic Scorpion Charm for another 12% more damage. Now, this talisman does increase the damage you take, so if you're not comfortable with that trade-off, feel free to swap this one for the Filigreed Crest, Radagon's Icon, or a defensive talisman. And for our final slot, the Blade of Mercy. This gives us a 20% more damage after a critical. And trust me, with how often Transient Moonlight staggers enemies, you will be getting crits and benefit from this constantly. For our flask, the Magic Shrouding Crack tier for a 20% damage buff is an easy choice, and we are pairing it with the Stonebarb Crack tier. This massively increases our stance breaking potential. That brings us to our sorceries. The rotation is simple but devastating. You open the fight with Rani's Dark Moon to apply the powerful debuff and lower the enemy's magic resistance. Then when you have a moment, cast Air Magica for its 20% damage increase. And for general combat, the Glint Blade Trio is your go-to for efficient and effective mid-range pressure. And finally, the stats that tie it all together. 50 to 60 Vigor for survivability, 20 to 25 Mind for FP, 25 Endurance to wear the armor and have plenty of stamina, 18 Strength just to wield the Nagakiba, ignore this one if you don't want to use the sword, 40 Dexterity, the perfect soft cap for Moonveil's damage increase, and a nice boost to our casting speed. And finally, 70 Intelligence. This gives a fantastic return on both your weapon and your sorcery damage. If you are playing at a lower level, don't worry, here's an early game version of the build. And there you have it, not just a guide, but the data to prove it. This build takes the Moonveil to its absolute peak, blending swift swordplay with devastating buff-stacked magic. A huge thank you for your feedback on the votes, and please let me know what weapon you want to see next. This weapon was actually pushed to the top of the list because everyone was asking for it. Meanwhile, if you want to see my last video on the confusing yet beautiful Golden Order Great Sword, click right here.
Bye.